with the ESPN Radio Sports Beat. Ow! I'm Dari Noka.
It's The Drive on your local radio station. We are ESPN Blacksburg, and a good Wednesday afternoon to all of you. My name is Paul Van Wagner. Brian C. Reed is in the other studio taking your calls at 866-961-1430. 866-961-1430 is the number to call. You can also text us. The AA automatic transmission text line is open and ready to serve you. That number is also 866-961-1430. Now, Brian, we have to do this twice, I think, for the start of this segment.
Hands to myself. No matter how hard I'm trying to,
Scott Nason.
I want
Scott.
all to myself.
Scott Nason. Scott.
I love Scott like a love song, baby. When you're ready to come and get
Scott Nason.
Scott.
Scott Nason. Scott Nason. Scott Nason.
Absolutely, let's go.
Scott Nason is joining us today. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful, Paul. Thanks for having me on this midweek edition. Not used to being here in the middle of the week. But hey, you can almost call it hump day.
We are going to call it just that because
Hi, Brian. I'm doing good. We had text message bets going on here. Butterfinger cups are the greatest thing on the planet.
we're trying to wake
I'll
him
bring
up.
you one of the game tonight. You just wait. This is the most embarrassing moment. Period. May 31st, 1986. That is 11,456 days.
Apropos, we're
11 and a
talking
half
about this.
thousand days is gone. Brian, you can say it doesn't matter. I don't care who else I see outside of Brian.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm done.
Ryan Dye also joining us today. How are you, my friend?
I'm fine.
All right. We woke you up. I apologize for that. We have to talk soccer. I have two experts in soccer. They were both busy, so I brought you guys on.
Nice. Well played, sir.
Thank you. After a day of excitement yesterday and all sorts of goals being scored, Ryan, we go back to 3 matches, 3 goals today.
That is the way of life in the world of soccer.
Come on, man. Even you as a soccer guy, as someone that loves the sport, you have to admit that was a little slow today, right?
I enjoy it because I feel like there's no other sport on the planet where scoring a goal is at such a premium.
Scott, help me out. Come on.
Hey. Today was bad, Paul. Not very good matchup. Not very exciting games. We have been spoiled in this World Cup with some really good opening matches. And you kind of saw when the schedule was out, and I was looking at a couple days where I probably wouldn't watch much of the tournament. Today was one of those days, and I'm glad I didn't because there were no surprises. There wasn't a lot of excitement. It wasn't a good day of soccer. You're going to get these games. It happens in every sport. You're going to have clunkers in the NHL. You're going to have bad games in the NBA. You had some not so exciting games today. It will make up. I should say they will make up for it as we go along. Tomorrow's matches look a lot more intriguing. But, yeah, today was as expected and kind of ho-hum in my opinion.
Brian, this is what I love about these two is that Scott will give it to me straight. Ryan will defend soccer to the death of him. Like it could be 0-0 in 3 matches, and I'd be like, man, that was kind of dull, no scoring. And Ryan would be like, it's the greatest thing ever. That's soccer. I love you guys. You guys are fantastic. All right, so Ryan, I do want to ask you. You and I talked about this. I believe it was yesterday, the fact that I had done the math and it looked like Russia was going to move on. They did. Uruguay also moving on. So we've got 2 teams that have punched their ticket to the knockout round, the round of 16. No real surprise from either of those 2, though, right?
I mean, you can maybe be surprised by Russia when you came into the tournament,
right,
but not after their first 2 games. Maybe the more surprising thing is Egypt has now been eliminated along with Morocco and Saudi Arabia, and Egypt just looks kind of bad. And they have Mohamed Salah on their team, and Mo Salah had one of the best years of anybody not named Ronaldo or Messi in the last 5 or 6 years, I think, this year. So it's a little surprising. I know he got hurt in the Champions League final, but I kind of expect a little bit more out of Egypt, and so that surprises me more than than Russia or Uruguay going on.
Scott, is this proof that soccer is not a single-person sport? I mean, we talk about these greats like Ronaldo, like Pele, like, whoever it happens to be from whatever era, but at the end of the day, it requires more than just one really good dude to win these matches.
Yeah, it really does. And, even a team like Portugal, it's not just Cristiano Ronaldo, it's many other players that help him out. But going back to Group A, I agree. I think Egypt was a bit of a disappointment. I thought they would be battling with Russia for that second spot, but you got to give it up to the Russians. I mean, they came out on fire, winning 5-0, and then or 0, and then you think, okay, maybe Egypt's going to give them a little better matchup. They're tied at 0-0 at half, and then Russia scores 3 more goals, and them and Uruguay will play likely either Portugal or Spain. Neither one of those teams are officially through, but I would expect that they're both going to get through. And we'll see what Russia does against Uruguay in match 3, because all Russia needs is a draw, and they're going to finish first in the group. Although in that group, I don't know how much of a difference first and second place is, because, again, you're either going to play Portugal or Spain. I wouldn't want to play either one, but I think Portugal is maybe a little more dangerous than Spain just because they have Cristiano Ronaldo. By the way, he's already scored 4 goals in this tournament.
I'm looking to try to find when Russia will play that match against Uruguay. Do either of you off the top of your head know when that match is going to happen?
Monday, I think.
Correct, Monday.
Monday? Okay. And do we know, is it the early morning match? Is it the afternoon match? Do we know when on Monday that match will be played? I'm trying to find it still. It looks like 10 a.m.
Monday, Paul, at 10 a.m. And this is the third games of group stage. Of course, you have both matches going on simultaneously. So Saudi Arabia and Egypt, good seats still available for that one. And Uruguay and Russia will be playing. And then later on that day, the Group B teams. And again, there's still work to do with Portugal and Spain. Both those teams will need points to move on. Morocco is eliminated. They'll play Spain and Iran, who still has a chance to win the group if they were to beat Portugal. Not likely, but it's still possible.
So when you start to look at this, Ryan, there is some drama beginning to unfold. I mean, some are foregone conclusions, Russia, Uruguay, but then you look like Scott said in that Group B. I mean, there's Iran is still alive in this thing. You look in Group C, France and Denmark both have wins. Australia and Peru both have losses. If France and Denmark win again, there's not a lot of drama there. However, if one of them lose, now all of a sudden we have drama again. So as you start to break down these groups, Ryan, there's still a lot of work to be done, and there's still a lot that could happen in these groups.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then even in just Group A, Uruguay and Russia may be the two that are going, but they still have to decide who's going to be the winner coming out of the group.
Right.
And that could make a big difference, because do you want to play Spain or do you want to play Portugal? Because you're going to get one of them. My money is on Spain to come out of the group on top. So if you're Russia and you want to avoid Spain, then you might want to beat Uruguay.
Sure.
Not that I think that will happen, but so you got that. That match is going to be fun. You mentioned some of these other ones. I'm excited to see Mexico, Sweden. On Wednesday. That one should be next Wednesday. That one should be fun. Then Germany, Sweden on this Saturday. That'll be a big matchup. We kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday. Germany is in the basement, and Sweden is almost a must-win at this point for them.
Sure.
So there's plenty of games. You're still in match day 2 all the way through Sunday. So once we get heading into Monday morning, we'll have a better idea of just how wild and crazy next week will be.
So I want to ask you guys, and I'm just going to throw this out there, and if either of you have an answer for it, great, chime in. Don't just leave me hanging, though. Russia, Uruguay. We talk about what's better. Do you finish on top and maybe play Portugal, or do you finish second and maybe play Spain? Is there any other advantage to finishing first in the group? I mean, do you get any? I mean, I realize for Russia you're playing at home regardless, but is there any advantage? Like for example, in baseball, you would bat in the second half of the inning. Is there anything like that to being the top team in Group A, other than you might draw Portugal?
Well, the only thing to finish first in the group, Paul, that's the advantage is the next round, the round of 16, you're playing the second-place team in the other group. Now, in this case, there's not much difference between Spain and Portugal.
Right.
But if you go to some of the other groups, maybe, maybe Argentina's group, maybe you don't play Argentina. Maybe you're taking on Croatia or Iceland, or maybe you're not taking on, well, I would say Germany up until this weekend,
right.
Mexico, who's on top of the group. So there's that advantage. You're taking on a team maybe that's not as strong.
Okay.
But then again, the next round, which would be the quarterfinal, then you're taking on either the first-place team in Group C or the second-place team in Group B, or D, I should say. So really the only advantage is in that next match when you're taking on the second-place team. Not much of a difference, in my opinion, between Spain and Portugal, both very good teams.
So, Ryan, they don't reseed every round, right? Like once that bracket of 16 is made up, whoever moves out of each individual game, that's just who you play next, right? There's no sort of reseeding or anything like that, is there?
Right. Nope. Once the bracket's set, the bracket is set.
Okay. Can you guys hang with me for one more segment? You can talk amongst yourselves while we take a commercial break.
Yes, we can.
All right, excellent. So Ryan Dye joining us, Scott Nason, who actually, Brian, coincidentally is suffering from back spasms also. He was trying to take his pants off, and so hopefully he can get himself healed up before the next segment. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, more soccer talk with these two guys. It's The Drive. It's The Drive on your local radio station. We are ESPN Blacksburg, and a good Wednesday afternoon to all of you. My name is Paul Van Wagner. Brian C. Reed is on the other studio thing over there, taking your calls at 866-961-1430. 866-961-1430. You can also text us. The number is exactly the same. It is 866-961-1430. Love to hear from you today if there's something on your mind. Brian, take the rest of the hour off, all right?
Hey, will do.
All right. I got faith in you, your ability to do just that. Scott Nason, Ryan Dye on the line joining us. Now, did you guys talk over the commercial break? Did you discuss anything soccer related?
No.
Okay.
That answers your question.
I was just trying to figure out if Scott was even still here. I could hear Ryan snoring in the background. Ryan, did we wake you up today?
100%.
I would tell you I'm sorry, but I'm not, so thank you for joining us, though.
It's actually a minor miracle because my phone was on vibrate.
Oh.
I don't know how I actually heard it vibrating enough to wake up. But
Well, now we know that we are important enough that you will answer the vibrating phone.
yes, sir.
All right.
We'll go with that.
All right, I like it. I like it. So earlier, I think it was maybe even yesterday, Uruguay knocked off Saudi Arabia 1-0. The interesting thing about this to me is that Saudi Arabia continues their worst active streak in World Cup history. They, along with Tunisia, have both lost 12 games, currently the longest active streak of winless World Cup matches. Both are trying to catch Bulgaria from 1962 to 1994, which might actually be the longest historical streak. They lost 17 straight World Cup matches before finally picking up a victory. So, guys, my question to you is this. Does it make sense that the Saudi Arabias and the Tunisias of the world are in this thing? I mean, essentially what we're looking at here is the Maryland-Baltimore County UVA matchup. And for our UVA listeners, I apologize for bringing that up. No, I don't. But these are the 16 seeds out there. Does it make sense to keep bringing them back year in and year out to let them lose? I mean, Saudi Arabia's been going since 1994 to current 12 straight losses in World Cup action. Why do we keep bringing these teams back, guys?
Well, I think, Paul, I'll start here. I don't think it changed anything as far as these teams coming in and the regions they represent. It is the World Cup. It's not just a European Cup. It's not just the South American Cup. And, well, it's pretty obvious to see that it's Europe and South America that wins the World Cup. They're the only continents that have won the World Cup. But you're looking at some other Asian teams, Japan, for example, with a big win there over Colombia with the help of a red card 4 minutes in, I might add. And, you had a couple other Asian teams that are doing pretty well. Australia didn't play terribly against France. They did lose 2-1. I thought South Korea played pretty well, even though they lost their match to Sweden. So I wouldn't want to tinker with it too much. As a matter of fact, starting in 2026, they're going to have more teams in, 48. So you're going to have more Asian teams in. You're going to have more African teams in. And I think it's good for the World Cup. I think it's good for these countries. Are any of these countries going to win the World Cup? Probably not, but we have seen some advance to the group of 8. I think a couple times we've seen some get into the semifinals. So even though the countries like Saudi Arabia and Tunisia not doing so hot, they still deserve to be there because they qualified, and even if they're not going to have a great World Cup, they deserve to be there.
Ryan, the Maryland, Baltimore counties, the Middle Tennessee states, see what I did there, Scott, of the world, do we keep letting them into this tournament, or do we want the best teams regardless of where they're from?
I'm with Scott. This is the World Cup, and these teams have earned their way into this tournament. There are set rules about how many teams from each continent can come into this, into this tournament. And sure, the United States is better than Saudi Arabia. Italy is better than Saudi Arabia, but both of those teams are sitting at home this year, watching from the couch. But at the same time, neither team did enough to make it. Through their qualification, and Saudi Arabia did what they had to do to get in. So I'm okay with it.
All right. So as we look ahead, I know there's more matches on the slate for tomorrow and beyond. What are you guys excited for as Group C and 2 teams from Group D will take to the pitch? See, I got that right tomorrow.
Very good.
Yeah. What are you guys excited for tomorrow, or are we looking at a bunch of 1-0 snoozers again?
No, I think you're going to see, Paul, a lot better matches and a lot better groups or more competitive groups top to bottom. You look at Group C right now, France and Denmark, they both got opening victories, so they could really help their causes. If they win tomorrow, Denmark will take on Australia. I'm not too sure Denmark wins that match. Australia, the Socceroos, if you will, might snatch a point. Who knows? Maybe they'll get a victory there. Peru, who I thought played pretty well in their first match, even though they lost, they're taking on France, and I wouldn't be too sure France wins that one. So I think you could see maybe a couple surprises to mix up that group. And then you get into probably my favorite group right now, Group D. You have one match tomorrow, Argentina taking on Croatia. Croatia's one of my dark horses in this tournament, and they really have a chance to put Argentina behind the 8 ball with a loss. And then you have on Friday, Nigeria, Iceland. Nigeria did not look good in their first match. Iceland did. We'll see if Iceland can take on, or I should say capture 3 points. And then other matches on Friday, Group E with Brazil, tying their first match. They take on Costa Rica. They should win that one. And a game I'm very interested in, Serbia against Switzerland. Serbia is another team that not many people are talking about. They won their first match. Switzerland got that late goal to tie Brazil. So you're going to see the next couple days here with some really good matches and really competitive groups.
Ryan, do you concur?
Absolutely. I'm really excited about Denmark, Australia tomorrow. Australia played really well. They probably actually should have at least gotten a point with France. So I'm excited to see how they fare against Denmark. Argentina drew with Iceland. So this game with Croatia is decently large for them. Yeah, if they draw again with Croatia, then then we're going to see a lot of panic from South America. If Messi can't get it done against Croatia tomorrow. Then the Brazil-Costa Rica match will be a snoozer because Brazil is just so vastly superior to Costa Rica. But then I like the Iceland-Nigeria matchup. What I'm really excited for is this weekend, actually.
Right.
I'm excited we get Group G and Group F, which are probably my 2 favorite groups.
Germany going to play this weekend, right?
Yep, we're going to get Germany playing. We have with Belgium, Tunisia. I know you kind of talked a little bad about Tunisia a minute ago, but Tunisia is ranked 21st in the world, so they're not exactly a snoozer this year. So the Belgium-Germany our Belgium-Tunisia game should be fun on Saturday morning. South Korea, Mexico. Mexico upset Germany. So that'll be one to watch. Germany, Sweden. I've kind of mentioned that a couple of times now. Almost a must-win for Germany at this point to keep pace with Mexico. And then Sunday, England, Panama. England should win that game. Panama still never scored a goal in the World Cup, so kind of still waiting to see that. And their fans were amazing against Belgium the other day. And then Japan, Senegal, and Poland, Colombia. Poland, Colombia. If Colombia's going to try to salvage something out of this group, they're going to have to beat Poland. So the next couple days are okay, but I'm really looking forward to Saturday and Sunday.
All right, most important question, and I got to let you guys go. Scott Nason, when you're eating a steak, do you put A1 or Heinz 57 on your steak?
No.
There you go. That's why I love Scott Nason. Guys, as always, have yourselves a fantastic evening. Thanks for doing this with us.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
All right, there you go. Scott and Ryan talking a little World Cup on the drive.
Let's do it. You're listening to ESPN Blacksburg.